Wait, that's happened? Ketchup was once sold as medicine? Its evolution is bizarre. Watch the full video. If you reached for ketchup today, you'd probably expect it to land on fries or a burger. But imagine walking into a pharmacy in 1834 and being handed a bottle of tomato ketchup as medicine. Not as a joke, as a cure. Because before ketchup conquered fast food, it tried to conquer disease. The story begins far from American diners. The word ketchup likely traces back to Southeast Asia, where fermented fish sauces were common centuries ago. Traders carried these salty, savory liquids across oceans. By the time the sauce reached Britain in the 17th and 18th centuries, it had already transformed. There were mushroom ketchups, walnut ketchups, even anchovy-based versions. None of them contained tomatoes. In fact, many Europeans were suspicious of tomatoes, believing them to be poisonous. The idea that the red fruit would one day define ketchup would have sounded absurd. That changed in early 19th century America, where tomatoes began shedding their deadly reputation. Enter John Cook, an Ohio physician who saw something more than flavor in the fruit. In 1834, he began selling tomato ketchup as a health tonic. According to advertisements of the time, it could treat indigestion, diarrhea, even jaundice. The logic wasn't entirely ridiculous by the standards of the era. Tomatoes were rich in vitamins and acids, and doctors were experimenting wildly with botanical remedies. But Cook wasn't just prescribing tomatoes. He was bottling them, branding them, marketing them as a convenient cure for upset stomachs. His idea caught on. Soon, entrepreneurs began selling tomato-based medicinal ketchups in pill form. One manufacturer claimed his tomato extract could cure nearly anything. The 1830s and 1840s were a golden age for patent medicines, miracle cures sold without regulation, often backed by little more than bold claims and clever labels. Ketchup joined the parade of tonics, syrups, and elixirs, promising relief from whatever ailed you. For a brief moment, the red sauce we now associate with fries was part of America's booming and largely unregulated medical marketplace. But as quickly as it rose as a medicine, the illusion faded. By the mid-19th century, doctors began questioning exaggerated claims. Some so-called tomato pills contained barely any tomato at all. Others were mixed with laxatives. The miracle narrative collapsed under scrutiny. Ketchup's future in medicine ended not with scandal, but with indifference. It simply stopped being taken seriously as a cure. And yet, this is where the story takes its most surprising turn. While ketchup was losing credibility as medicine, it was quietly evolving in kitchens. Home cooks began using tomatoes more frequently, experimenting with vinegar and sugar to preserve the fruit longer. These additions changed everything. Vinegar acted as a natural preservative. Sugar softened the acidity. What emerged was something sweeter, thicker, and far more stable than earlier recipes. Then came industrialization. In the late 19th century, food production scaled up dramatically. Companies realized that tomato ketchup, properly preserved, could be mass-produced. One of the biggest challenges was spoilage. Early commercial ketchups often relied on questionable preservatives, and some were brown, thin, and inconsistent. Consumers didn't always trust bottled foods. The breakthrough came when manufacturers refined recipes to balance acidity and sweetness naturally, eliminating the need for dangerous additives. Clear glass bottles showed off the sauce's bright red color as proof of purity. Ketchup was no longer a medicine. It was becoming a symbol of modern, safe food. It appeared alongside meats, fries, and sandwiches, riding the wave of America's rapidly changing eating habits. Urbanization meant quicker meals. Railroads meant wider distribution. Ketchup's sweet and sour profile matched perfectly with processed foods emerging at the time. What had once been a doctor's digestive remedy was now the companion of factory-made dinners. And still, the strangest part remains that ketchup's identity was never fixed. It began as fermented fish sauce in Asia. It morphed into mushroom and walnut blends in Britain. It reinvented itself as tomato medicine in Ohio. Each reinvention reflected the era's fears and desires: fear of illness, desire for preservation, trust in science, and fascination with convenience. It flirted with pharmaceutical fame before settling into kitchens worldwide. If you enjoyed this strange piece of history, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe for more.